Welcome to In Conversation with Hemali. It's a big hello from Singapore as well as from Kenya. I begin this session with a quote. The pain you feel today is the strength you feel tomorrow. For every challenge encountered, there is an opportunity for growth. There could be none better than my guest today who has faced hardships and come out victorious. Please welcome Tabitha Mwai from Kenya. She is an author, content creator, a media consultant, transformation trainer, coach, and speaker, and a TV show host. She wears so many caps together. Welcome, Tabitha, and thanks a lot for agreeing to speak to us on my channel. Although I've tried my best to introduce you, Tabitha's achievements, I think I haven't been able to do justice. So I'm going to request you to first tell us a little more about yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Hemali, for having me. I think like the introduction is basically a summary of what I do. I kind of juggle so many things at the same time, but I don't feel like there are many things. I feel like they are all geared towards the same thing, which is transformation. So I look at myself as someone in the area of transformation, and I do this through content creation. That is through writing, the authoring that I do, the books that I write, the blogs that I write. I also do video content. So even in the video content that I do, it's all about transformation. And I also do coaching. So I speak to young people. I mentor them. I try to look at areas that they need someone to work with them, create safe spaces for them so that they feel someone really hears them and understands them, because we are living in times that people are just looking for someone to understand them, you know. So
thank you so much. No, yeah. I know that there's lots more, and I hope to kind of let that out as we go proceed ahead with the questions. So my first thing to you, Tabitha, I would like to know is you have authored a book, Grieving and Healing After Loss. Please tell us a little more about what this book is all about.
So Grieving and Healing After Loss is a journey of grief. It's a journey of grief whereby what happens when you lose someone that you love or someone close to you. So what do you go through? How do you deal with it? How do you adjust your life? And this book is something I wrote as I was struggling myself. So I was struggling, having lost someone really close to me, and I felt lost, and I felt like there was no one who really understood what I was going through. I felt like there was nothing I could relate to at that point. And as I was going through the process of grief and I was going through counseling, one of the things that I was doing is actually journaling. So journaling was my way of expressing my emotions, the emotions that I couldn't express to anyone else. So as I journaled and my sessions of therapy were coming to an end, I thought like, what else can I do to help myself actually heal? And since I'm a content creator, I was also looking at books that I could read. And locally where I come from in Kenya, there are very few, actually there are no books on grief. It's a topic that people find it kind of a taboo to speak about. Yeah, it's a really difficult topic to penetrate and even speak about, even when we are going through the process. People just, it's like those things we speak in low tones, and we say, yeah, we don't really want to say much about it, but we know it's happening. And so most people are not able to fully heal after they have lost a loved one. Even the time that you're given at the workplace is not really adequate. And even the support system that you get, I feel at times people don't really know what to do or say to someone who is grieving. So as I was going through that and I was researching a lot, I was reading a lot about grief, and I realized there was a gap. There was no much information that would connect with someone who is grieving. And so that's how I decided maybe I could share what I have gone through and the process I have gone through, what I have seen, and how I am coping. I had not healed when I was writing the book. So for me, the book was a process of finding at least a way to heal as I reach out to other people who are also grieving. And
Right.
so yeah, that's how I wrote the book. And it's a combination of psychology, so the process of grief, the stages, but I've incorporated it. It's not only the 7 steps. I've incorporated it with other, like with my story, with what I felt I was going through at that particular time. And then I've also included some scriptures. I'm a Christian, so
Okay.
the Bible is really a point of reference for my writing, and even
Wow.
for my daily activities. Yeah, so I also incorporated that, and I also shared now, how do you adjust back to your life? Because once somebody has left, it doesn't mean they no longer exist, like their existence ceases to be
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
So you just have to adjust. You get to new normal. You get to new normal whereby you now see that they are not there, but it doesn't mean they were not there. So their memories will still be part of you. You will still have moments where you wish this person was there. So how do you adjust to
Deal with
knowing
it.
that they are not there? Yeah, and
Right.
then find your healing. Yeah. So
Yes.
that's the book on grief.
So, Tabitha, you just mentioned that people back there in your country do not express grief as much. So, how well has
Yeah.
this your book been accepted? Because it's coming out in the open, where you're telling people that it's all right to accept that you are grieving, right? How well has your book been accepted?
It's really directed towards specific people, and it's not the kind of book that everyone picks at the book in the bookstores, or
Sure.
everyone calls me to get the book. But
Right.
people who are grieving, they're the me. And for people who are trying to see how best they can support someone who is grieving and they don't know what to do or what to say,
Sure.
then those are the people who have been reaching out. It's yeah, and I would say so far so good. People are because it's a topic that people find hard to navigate and speak about. It's giving them, the book is giving them an easy way to speak about it, because if I find someone who is grieving and I don't know what to say, I just gift them the book, and
Wow.
and once they are able to compose themselves and just read through the book, then they can be able to go through the emotion, because it's a step by step kind of book.
Right. So moving on to the next part is that you have experienced no's in your life. How has that shaped you today?
Wow, when you speak of no's, I think I've experienced quite many no's in my life, but
Certainly.
there's one that really stands out for me, um, and uh, and this is the relationship no. So the no that really shaped me so much in my adult life was having my campus sweetheart tell me that our relationship is not really working, and this is
Oh,
after being together for over 5 years, and I was pregnant at the time. And so when he told me this is not working, it was really devastating for me, because
of
I'd
course.
never pictured myself being a single mother. I'd never pictured myself having to raise a child by myself, or that whole process of
Mhm.
being by myself. And it was really really tough for me. And so when this happened, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of destabilized my life,
Right.
emotionally speaking. And I had to adjust and see what can I do, how will my life go, how is my life going to be, how am I going to raise this child, what
Mm.
next? Because I had just graduated. It was 1 year after graduation, and I had not yet figured out my life or the path that I want to take.
Yeah.
But in the midst of this, I think I thought of, there are actually other people who are going through this. I'm not the only one. And so I decided to reach out to other people, actually through Facebook. Then through Facebook, I brought
Wow.
together other young girls like me who found themselves in the same predicament, and I formed a support group. So we became our own support system. So we could share what we are going through, because we are all new moms. We don't
Right.
know. As a new mom, everything looks like
Oh,
rocket science. So yeah, so I'm going through this. I share with another lady, and then we could just encourage each other and compare notes, and just build each other, and that became my support system as well.
wow.
And for about an year, we were there for each other, and we got to know each other. We met through Facebook, but we
Okay.
got to know each other and became friends. And up to now, I
Lovely.
still communicate with most of the ladies. And yeah, I would say that no really shaped me, because after that, then I started now, that support group made me start another program to support young mothers.
All right. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so basically, you kind of the problem that came in your life, you decided to deal with it head on. The no worked very well for you.
Yeah. I don't know if it worked, or but
Right.
I think I found my way through it, because
Excellent.
there was nothing else to do.
I
Like, it's
understand. Sure.
at times when you still have to survive. When you look at it, when I looked
Yeah.
at it at that point, I knew this child needed me. So
Yeah.
whether I was having an emotional breakdown, whether I was having a crisis in my life, what
Yeah.
kept me going is knowing that the child is innocent, they don't know what's going on, and
Yeah.
they needed me whether I am in good shape or not.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, it's about you being brave enough, strong enough to face whatever came your way. Fantastic. So did you ever feel dejected and hopeless while you were trying to kind of come out of the whole thing? You saw that you're doing well enough, but something that was making you feel that I'm feeling hopeless.
Oh, sure. So many times.
Oh,
So many times. Because when you don't know where you're heading,
yeah.
and uh, you
Mhm.
actually don't have a clear plan. Because when
Yeah.
I was doing all this, I didn't know what next. For me, it was just surviving, and keeping on. So
Yeah.
there were times I would question myself and ask, am I really doing the right thing? Am
Yeah.
I really can I even do it? Second guessing my decisions, and saying maybe I should just quit,
Yeah.
uh, and see what else life has to bring. But
Sure.
even in those slow moments, they will come, and you will still have to go on, because
Right.
even in the lowest moments, when I will feel hopeless,
Hmm.
and look and see my daughter
Yeah.
maybe need something, and they need my affection, I will just
Right.
I will just think, if I give up right now,
Yeah.
what story will she have for her future? Because me
How
giving
lovely.
up is also part of her life. So if I give up, she will also at some point know that I gave up, and I didn't want.
Beautiful.
One thing I used to tell myself is, I don't want her to blame me for
Yeah.
anything.
Right.
We are in a world where all our wrong decisions come from the wrongs we
Mhm.
feel our parents did to us.
Yeah.
So, as one thing that I've been studying and looking at is, how best can I avoid wronging my child and give her the best chance at life? Because if I give up, I am not giving her the best chance. So
Wonderful.
for me, what made me what actually gives me hope up to now when I feel hopeless, and I want to give up is, am I really giving her the best chance? So if I
Wow.
can give her the best chance, I can actually deal with anything that comes my way.
Right. Lovely. And Tabitha, I believe that you run life skills programs to empower young girls. Tell us a little more about it, please.
Yeah, so one of the programs I started after the support group I had created is a 90-day program for young mothers. So
Okay.
with this program is basic, I call it star mums, but with time I actually adapted it into a book last year, and
Okay.
it's 10 steps. Yeah, 10 steps towards healing and reconciliation. Healing, reconciliation, and transformation. So that there are 10 steps, but you go through them in 90 days. And the 90 days program, we start with it's a process of you finding healing, because when you find yourself in the position of you being a young mother, a single mother, the first thing most of us do is blame ourselves.
Yes.
So we blame ourselves, and you go into a state of thinking that maybe I am here because of what I did, the decisions I've made, I deserve this, and all that. And we get sunk into all that, and in the process, you are not really able to function, and there's so much anger, bitterness, and pain. So in the 90 days program, I help the young mothers now deal with that anger, bitterness, and pain, find the forgiveness for themselves and forgiveness for those around them. Then there's also the aspect of most people get abandoned in this process. So not only the father of your child abandons you, but also your family. So you
Right.
find that, yeah, there's that distance that comes. Maybe your family thinks that you failed. Some of them distance themselves from you, and you find yourself being isolated. So the reconciliation part is reconnecting with the people you feel they have wronged you, and just trying to bridge that gap, because it does, at times our parents will not say sorry, so you have to be the one to initiate the process and say sorry on their behalf, because you need that relationship with your parents, you need that
Right.
relationship with your family, if it's your siblings who have isolated you. And so this is a process that I take them through,
All right.
and also
Wow.
just for them to find their footing back, because at times this is sudden, you don't have anyone to support you, no caregivers, and so some people lose their jobs, some are in school, so you don't really have a job. So we sit down and look at what can you do from where you are.
All
So
right.
how can you support yourself, how can you pick up, and yeah, if you want to go back to school, how is the best way to go about it. So
Wow.
it's simple but still quite rigorous, in the sense of you have to really deal with your emotions, because for you to really fully become functional as a mother, you have to let go of so much, and have the right kind of energy, and even work on your belief system. So that is one thing that I really help the young mothers do.
So do you address only girls or do you address boys as well?
So our programs are for both genders. We have both boys and girls in our programs. Uh, yeah, but the only
Okay.
program that is
Sure.
specific is the star moms, where it's just the young mothers.
All right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Tabitha, you have been presented the Volunteer Impact Awards for your efforts towards building sustainable livelihoods. Tell us more about this also.
So for the Volunteer Impact Award is an award under Voluntary Service Overseas, which is a non-profit organization that I've been volunteering with from 2019.
Mhm.
Um, and what I was doing, I was empowering young people with life skills, employability skills, and entrepreneurship skills. So on how to I train them on the life skills. They go through life skills training, and then after this, we support them, and they choose either to go into employability or to entrepreneurship. So
Okay.
after this process, then we give them post training support and help them maybe to prepare their CVs. We help them choose the career path that they want to take. If someone goes into business, then we help them come up with a business plan, and then after they do their business plan, they pitch, and they're given as kind of a support to start the business. So
Tabitha,
in the process, Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying at this young age, you have been able to touch so many lives, from a teenager, guiding them on how, where they can communicate and speak about themselves, to young mothers, to people who can be guided on their CVs and on how they can plan their lives ahead. I'm going to quote Tabitha here. Gender and sexual violence doesn't just rob a person their dignity, but also their power to embrace and appreciate intimacy. Tabitha, I would request you to elaborate your thoughts on this quote.
Okay. For that quote, when I think of gender and sexual-based violence, I think it's an intimate kind of it's an intimate kind of violence, in the sense of it takes away your space. It takes away your freedom to be who you are. It takes away your self-expression. And because of the safe spaces that I create, and the young people I support and the young women, when you hear when you listen to the stories of survivors of gender and sexual-based violence, you feel that their space has been robbed, their freedom has been robbed, their voice has been robbed. And so when I wrote that quote, I was thinking of that person whose expression has been taken away, and they feel that they cannot trust anyone to be intimate with them. They feel that they cannot be able to connect with anyone because of what was done to them. So when that is taken away from you, then I think that's the best way to explain it, because it really takes them a long time, not only to heal physically, but also to heal psychologically, to be able to express themselves and connect with people.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. So what kind of difficulties have you encountered while running these programs, and how do you manage to convince people to support your cause?
The challenge at times, I think most of the time will be financially, because whatever I do is voluntary. It's not for pay.
Yeah.
And so I use most of my resources. Whatever I make, part of it, I use it to run the program.
Wow.
And getting people to support, you just get people who believe in what you're doing.
Sure.
There are those ones who will support. And I also have some people who volunteer to go with me if it's for a session. If there's somebody who needs a specific kind of support, I get people who are willing to do that. But I will say, at times you get people who take your idea.
Yeah.
You want to start a certain program, yeah, and you're looking at maybe to partner with people, because I believe in collaboration. There's no
Sure.
way I can reach out to every young person or every woman without
Yeah.
getting other people to work with me. To keep the energy to have all this going, sometimes you really stretched out.
Of course.
And yeah.
Yeah. Tabitha, what does success mean to you? Do you consider yourself successful?
Uh, I I I feel like I'm yet to be successful.
All right.
Though, yeah, though people, well, I think when I say this, people say that I am looking down on what I have been able to do so far. But for me, I'm looking at the amount of transformation that I can be able to bring, helping. There's this thing I keep saying: I want to help people find their spice and live their best life, because most of us are not living even close to the best life that we can. And
Yes.
for me, success would actually mean being able to reach to as many people as possible and having them live their best life. I get to a moment when I walk down a street, or maybe down even the streets, the online streets as we call them, and
Yeah.
someone says that just because I watched a certain video, or just because I read one of your books, or I
Yeah.
came to your forum, my life has changed. then at that point, that's when I'll feel that I'm successful.
Wonderful. I'm sure you've already touched many lives and you have had people coming up to you and saying that you have done great for them. And I pray that this continues, as far as possible. You are an inspiration, and I would request you to leave a message for my viewers, please.
So what do I say? Everyone has their spice. Everyone has their spice. There's something that you bring into this life. You might not feel that you're living your best life. You might not feel that you're important. You might not feel that people understand who you are. But the thing is, they really don't need to understand who you are. You need to know who you are, and you need to know what is your spice. Because once you know what your spice is, then you're able to bring the color you're supposed to bring into this life. Because each and every one of us is contributing to the ecosystem of life. And once you understand you're contributing, then you start being a contribution in the right way. And you stop looking at yourself as something that is missing, like there's something that is missing, but rather look at yourself like a contribution in this world. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, Tabitha, for that lovely message you leave behind. You are truly an inspiration. And with your message, you have left us thinking on how we can play our roles also to make this world a better place to live in, like you are doing your part and reaching out to as many lives as possible, not only in Kenya, but by writing, authoring these books and by giving these kind of talks, you're reaching out to people all around the world. Thank you very much for gracing my channel. It has been a complete pleasure talking to you. To my viewers, do not forget to like, subscribe, and of course, share this video ahead. Let's spread this kind of inspiration all around us, wherever we are, to as many people as we can. And Tabitha's YouTube links, as well as other links, will be added on in the description. Do click on them and hear her talks and read more about her books and her blog also for you to kind of know more about her. Thank you very much, Tabitha, and wishing you a good day.